Hi everyone, it's Nat here. Hope you're all doing well. I'm on with my design team project for Whichcraft Do You Do for the month of March. Yes, I know, I'm just sneaking it in the nick of time. Yeah, I was up late last night finishing it off. So I could have done a whole lot more in these as well, but I sort of wanted to keep a lot of room in these for the recipient. Make them journals that whoever gets them can add a lot to. But yeah, I could have had a whole heap more fun in these. So you would have seen last month that I made some pieces for these journals, and I will link the tutorials for those down below, as well as the kits or the main kits that I've used for the bits and pieces in here. I have used some other bits and pieces from previous kits that I've used of Whichcraft Do You Do's. I won't point all of them out. I will most of them, but there's a few random bits and pieces that I've used just to use them up, and I think it'll probably confuse you too much if I mention 8 different kits. I think I've got 5 listed, that'll do. So yeah, but I'll definitely point out the main ones, which are the mushroom ones that I want to highlight this month. So I've ended up doing 2 journals here, so I think we'll start with this one first. So I'll just put this one to the side. So this is an old Funk and Wagnall's encyclopedia cover. You probably saw the last journal I made that I've been harvesting a lot of encyclopedias. So I've just kept the cover intact. You can see on the top corners here are quite raggedy and broken and that, but that is fine. The book still holds together nicely. And I've just kept the cover plain. I quite like it plain for the style of journal. I've made a dangle with some broken jewellery here. And I've just used an eyelet and some chain to connect that. And it is on, I've connected it with a crab claw. I think that's what you call them. I have no idea. Jewellery's not my thing. And if you saw how long it took me to put this together last night, yeah. I need to get myself magnifying glasses and about 8 hands. Might make my life a bit easier when it comes to this sort of fine detail. But yeah, so you can take these on and off in case you're like me and you hate dangles. Well, I love the look of them. I just hate having them on when I'm using something. But they're very long too, so you can actually put them up like this while you're using the book so they're not in your way. So I've actually sewn the signatures through the spine, which is something I rarely do. I usually do a hidden spine. So that was almost, I was going to say a first, but I think I have done a little golden book like this before. So that's the way I've done that. Now, I have done a closure, and I've used eyelets just to tie some beautiful sari silk around each journal. And that is from Whichcraft Do You Do as well, one of their physical items. I have bought a few lots of their sari silk. I absolutely love it. On each of the journals, I've put a brown envelope, which I have just collaged a bit on with these beautiful pictures of mushrooms that someone gifted me. And I'm sorry, there's a couple of gifted pieces in these journals, and I can't for the life of me remember who gave them to me. Usually I can, but yeah, it does get to the stage where you get so much and you've had it for so long where you do forget. So I'll just say a big thank you now to anyone who's gifted me any of the pieces in here. So just a bit of layering with book spine and some fabrics. So I'm going to put a note from the bookmaker in these. It'll be my own written note, and it will probably say something like, here's a weird book on fungi. Stick what you like in it and enjoy. So that's about as fancy as I get. So I'll probably put that in there. So as you can see, I have just left it really plain. I was looking through my pictures, couldn't really figure out what I wanted to do with the cover, so that's what I did. Yeah. So I just tied that in a single knot. So you can take the envelope out if it annoys you. So with the kit pages, so they all came from the Mushroom Ephemera Collection Set 1. And I did the process video, and as I said, they'll all be linked down below on 1 or 2 of these pages. Now, I did layer these just to give them a bit of depth. And I did add a few little bits and pieces, like some fibres under this label that I added. And I also used some of my gel pen to add some little sparkle detail on these as well. So they're quite plain journals, but I did do a fair bit of work with the kit pages. So there's a Hessian pocket at the front. One of the stamps, there's a video on those as well. So that's what I did last month. And the little pictures came from the same kit. They're just reduced size images that are in the kit. And I've used a lot of, they are glossy. I've used a lot of book page pictures in here of mushrooms and fungi. And I don't really care about the gloss. I think they're beautiful pictures and it's a shame to waste them. So I wanted to use them in these journals. So a little journaling card, and as per usual, I have backed most of these sort of pieces with your blank book pages. So I've got a title in this one of Moulds and Mushrooms. Enticing, isn't it? And that's just backed onto some book spine pieces. So labels, freebie labels, I've used a couple of them. They're the freebies from Whichcraft Do You Do, and one of the words from previous kit. So I've used a lot of these pad papers, a couple of different sizes of these lined ones, and they're vintage that I found. I think I got them from the estate sale once. And I thought they went really nice. Now, all the pages in here are packaging. So I bought some IKEA bookshelves, and in between the shelves they packed them with these long sheets of this brown paper, and it's quite thick and sturdy. So that's what I've used for the bulk of the pages in here. And then there's a few other pages which are your flimsier brown craft packaging as well. So all the pages are packaging. I really wanted to use the packaging up, so I thought this would be a great project. I just love the colour of them. So I have put some of the pad paper on there just to add more writing space. I thought it looked really nice, the contrast of colours as well. So I've got a paper bag here, one of the mushroom labels. Now that's a newish kit, and that one is the Bits and Pieces set 6. Has these different mushroom labels, and they're beautiful, so I had to grab that and add some of those. I think they would be beautiful in a fairy journal. And there's a beautiful big mushroom journaling card there. So some tea-dyed pages. Just a little cluster of your cheesecloth. I've used a lot of that cheesecloth in here, and that's also from Whichcraft Do You Do. Beautiful mushroom out of a book page, and some more packaging that I've used there to embellish. That's the thinner packaging paper. So that's another one of the pages. Now that cluster I put there to hide the back of the brad that I've used here to secure this tag. I made that last month as a project as well. So there's the video for that is down below as well. Again, some more layering of bits and some more of my gel pens on the pages. Now, that's the other thing I've got is a piece of paper here that I wanted to use to show you, because there's a lot of tuck spots in this that aren't obvious. And I haven't put anything in them because it'd just be ridiculous if I filled it all up. I'd rather leave spots for the recipient to use. So that's a tuck spot there. So you can put something in there if you want. So brown paper bag, another journaling card with beautiful mushrooms. Heaps of writing space. I thought I'd add lots of writing space. There's a fair few pages in here, but it's always great to add as much writing space as possible. Another label. Now, this is another thing. There's a whole heap of pages in these two journals that I did not dye myself, and I can't for the life of remember who gave them to me, so thank you very much, whoever did, because they're beautiful and they've been really handy for this. A book page mushroom and a book page just on fungi. Writing space. A mushroom bag from the fruit and veg section. So, and thank you, Carolyn, if you watch this. She reminded me to use these. I had grabbed a whole heap of these. When I think of it, I grab an extra one when I'm buying mushrooms for this purpose, because I knew I wanted to make mushroom journals in the future. But when I was grabbing stuff to put in here, I'd completely forgotten about those. And she mentioned, you know, I might want to use one in here. So thank you for reminding me. So I haven't put anything in here, but there's room to put something in there. But up the top here, you've got these gussets here. So that fits perfectly one of my mixed media cards that I made. Video down below on those as well. Or 2 videos on those, I think. I did the background in one and then I embellished them in another one. And fussy cut mushrooms that are on these cards and also embellishing some of the pages are from the Mushroom Collection Set 2. If you go to Whichcraft Do You Do's digitals, they do have a search function where you can type in mushrooms, or you can go down the side and click on mushrooms. And it will come up with all the digitals for the mushrooms and that, which is great. And then behind the bag is a tuck spot, and I've put in some of this paper. I don't know if that's straw paper or what. I do have some elephant dung paper, and I can't remember which one it is because they all look the same, so it could be that as well. It's my smaller vintage pad paper I've put there. This is real thin packaging, so I have lined 1 or 2 of the sides of that, and it just makes it a bit more sturdy to write on. It's a book page mushroom, a little label from one of the previous kits that I've used, and that's got mushrooms on it as well. The centre of each signature has a beautiful big page. And I've left where I've tied it in, I've left it long for you to do what you like with. I know a lot of people do that in case you want to add beads or dangles or whatever. Some nice brown beads would look good. It's not the type of thing I think I'd want in my own book. That's why I haven't added any, but you're welcome to do so if you like. Some of this beautiful paper that has bits and pieces in it. Tuck spot with a book page mushroom and some more brown paper. I have a lot of these different sorts of papers that I've picked up from the op shop. Great way to add that extra writing space. This is a tuck spot here. This is a tuck spot. If you put something in there and it doesn't hold, you could always stick down one side, but it looks like it's going to hold something like quite nicely. Bit of packaging. Lots and lots of writing space, or if you like collaging or just sticking pictures in, you want to stick more mushrooms in, you can. There's this label that came from the Assorted Labels Set 3, had a couple of mushrooms and some nice brown labels, so I did put a couple of those in. Now this bag is a tuck spot in the top there, and I've just put some more paper in that I've folded up. It's another fussy cut mushroom. Another layered page. Again, some of my gel pen to add some sparkle. And I have some Chinese paper, so I've put that down there. It looks nice. The label. Another one of my stamps. So on this page, I've left a tuck spot there, and I've got one of my little tags that I made in there. I love doing all the layering. That was heaps fun to do. It's just something a bit different as well. Beautiful old picture. I think that's one of my pages there. Oh, now with this one, it's a tuck spot or a belly band type thing just there. Just thought I'd better show, because if anyone does grab this journal, they might like to see and know what they can utilise. So tuck spot behind there with some paper in. Then this is the flimsier paper, and so I've added this to make it a bit sturdy. I've got a paper clip with a mushroom charm. And then in here is another one of my mixed media cards. So they're backed with book page as well, so they can be written on. Middle of the signature, beautiful page. Small writing spot, stick a picture there if you like. It's a lot of fun making these. I just love using the pictures out of the books. And, you know, the majority of the books that I grabbed the pictures out of were heading for the bin. So it's great to be able to use some of the bits and pieces from them. So I've made these little envelope flip pockets that house another one of my cards. And flip them open so you can still write underneath and stick something on the back. Book page picture. Tuck spot up in there. Just used cheesecloth and bits of thread. I just like trying to use some of the thread here and there. Instead of ending up with a whole pile of it, it's good to try and stick it here and there and use it as I go. With this journal, I left a lot of the thread dangling. Now this one, you could use this little bit here as a tuck. Again, if you put something in there and it doesn't hold too well, you could stick it down the bottom, but if it is light and thin, it will hold it quite well. I've used some, is that sari silk? Yeah, I think that's some sari silk as well there. Another pocket. Don't mind the glare. Bit of napkin. Made my little stamp into a tuck spot there. Made this little journal card with the book page. Now, that is not a tuck, no. See, even I can't remember. This is like a tuck spot there, or a pocket. There's a little charm there with the dragonfly. Another one of my cards there. The middle of the last signature. Tuck spot. So there's heaps of room there to write, embellish, but add little notes or envelopes or whatever you like. There's a lot of room for whoever gets these to be able to make them their own and add heaps of bits and pieces too. They're not bulky or gator-mouthed at all either. This one especially, heaps of room to bulk it out. So I like journals like this myself personally. If I bought a journal, I've got a journal, I'd want room to be able to bulk it out myself and add a lot too. More of the cheesecloth from Whichcraft Do You Do. I've left wings unstuck and I haven't stuck the top or the bottom of the mushrooms down properly, and I did that on purpose just so that they look a bit more 3D. If you're finding it a problem, you can add a bit of glue yourself, but I've tried to stick them down enough that they won't get caught on the opposite pages or anything or fold, you know, but just so they lift that little bit and create that dimension. So I just added a little bit of thread to that little tag. You probably could stick something in the top, but it would have to be something pretty little. That one. The last page. And then this card I've stuck on as a tuck spot as well, so you can stick something in there if you want. So that is that one. And then the second one is this one. Now, if you've watched me for a while, you may remember in one of my secondhand hauls that I grabbed this gift bag. And I loved it so much. And I thought, shall I make a journal out of it or should I just keep it in my craft room? And I was going to keep it in my craft room and maybe store my brown packaging paper in it. So I've sort of done that because it's got my brown packaging paper in it. So, but I did turn it into a journal because when I decided to do the mushrooms and I saw the beautiful colours on some of the pages from the kit, it just went perfectly. So yes, I have used that. It's got these little holes in the front and back. I've just left them as they are. I was debating whether to add some ribbon or dangles from that, or put a cluster over the top. I'm not sure, so I've just left it for now. You don't really notice them that much, but yeah, a little hole front and back. That's where the handles were in the gift bag. So again, I've just used sari silk from Whichcraft Do You Do as a closure. I've sewn through the back. I've sewn down here because when I cut the bag to make it, I doubled over the spine and stuck it together with glue, and I thought to reinforce it that I would sew it together there. And I've got this dangle from some jewellery, and I love this one because it's got a butterfly on it and leaves, so I thought that was perfect, and I love the colour. So, and that's the back. So I didn't do anything to this because I just love it. But it is a used gift bag, so it's not in perfect condition. There's a few little sort of wrinkle bits and scratches, but otherwise it's absolutely beautiful. Again, I've got the embellished envelope that I'll put a little note in. I love that. And that sits there, which I might take that one out because it does slide around when I open it up. So very similar to the last one, but we'll have a look through because the actual kit pages are different. So the title on this one is Fungi, and I've used a fair bit of sari silks from Whichcraft Do You Do. I've also used some of this sort of thing, which is material that come out of my chindi rug when I took it apart. It was really good to actually start using some of that. So Hessian pocket again. Mushroom journal card, tuck spot with one of my little tags. Again, the layering with the gel pen, beautiful sari silk there. So this one's obviously a lot more colourful, so it will appeal to people who like a bit more colour. And again, I've got pages that were gifted to me. I'm not sure whether my mum did these or someone else gave them to me, but there's beautiful colours in them that I thought were perfect for this journal. Now there's a tuck spot there, so I've put another one of my tags in. And some more Chinese writing to go with the writing that's on the kit page. Fussy cut, here's my bag pocket. Just a bit of book page in there. There's my mushroom bag. Nothing in there, but there's my little card in the gusset. And tuck in the back. Tuck spot there with a little stamp. A bit more of my chindi rug and some of the cheesecloth. There's my little envelope flip. This one goes that way. Love this picture. So a lot of these came out of encyclopedias. You know, you get these encyclopedias that are so boring, and then you hit one of the pages and it's like this, and it's so beautiful. So I make sure I save those pages. I love all these weird, wonderful, colourful fungi. So they're the types of pictures that I hate putting in the bin because I just think they're beautiful and so different. Like that. Weird looking thing. Little specimen label that came from Whichcraft Do You Do, and I backed that onto one of their freebie labels. So yeah, they have a few freebie printables, so you can always go and check those out. It's just some folded up paper. Tuck spot with one of the stamps. That's a bit more material from the chindi rug. Again, more layering Oh, this one has some weird tuck spots. Don't know if I showed you all the ones in the other one as well, but you've got a little tuck spot there if you want. And there. This one, I have butterflies in it as well because the gift bag has butterflies on it. So I did add butterflies. They're beautiful. They're from a previous kit. I'm not sure if it was the butterfly kit or the slides kit from Whichcraft Do You Do. Tuck spot in there, is it? Actually, I don't think this one's meant to be a tuck spot, but you could if you wanted to. So a bag, and that's just got this book page journal card. Isn't it gorgeous? You'd probably recognise a lot of these from books that a lot of this sort of thing is probably a Reader's Digest book that we all seem to find. But they have beautiful pictures in. Love the cheesecloth. One of my cards. Butterfly. These were cut out my scan and cut, so they weren't cut the best, but they seem to work all right. And I've just drawn the little antennae on. And top tuck there. Fussy cut, which I've used as a tuck. That's the same picture we saw beforehand. Middle page. Again, I've left the signature ties long so you can add bits if you want to. But in this one where I did any sewing, I cut the threads off short in this one, just a bit different. That's some of the flimsy packaging paper. And that one's my mushroom charm. And this one I've got silver charms. And that holds my card. Now, where's my piece of paper? Tuck there. A book page on fungi. That's very vintage. Another tuck and stamp there. You can always take stamps out and stick them somewhere else. Lots of layering on this one. More chindie rug. Tuck tuck. Love the blue mushrooms. The tuck spot there. I've got to keep feeling it to see, is that a tuck spot? This has to be, is it? Yeah, up the top there. And then we've got a butterfly charm here. Another one of my cards. And then I've stuck a page of butterflies in here since we've got a butterfly theme going on as well as mushrooms. Just got some of my paper in there. Mushroom. And tuck spot there. I think it's a tuck spot there. Yeah, tuck spot there. And then it's a tuck spot up there. Is there a tuck spot in there? No. I'm amusing myself. It's one up there where we've got the stamp. Yeah, one in there and one in there. So you can see I didn't want to fill them all up because it would sort of cover the beautiful picture. But if the recipient gets it, if they've got receipts or tickets or something and they've written some information here and they want to fill it up, then they can go for it. And yeah, bit of glue there. Get that out for afterwards. And then, of course, the tuck spot at the back. So that is it. They are my 2 mushroom journals for Whichcraft Do You Do. I had so much fun with that. Thank you so much to the lovely ladies at Whichcraft Do You Do. Beautiful kits. Heaps and heaps of fun. And it was great fun to have some colour with the mushrooms. You know, just beautiful, colourful journal this one turned out to be. So I really enjoyed that. So as I said, I've got the process videos linked down below to the little bits and pieces that I did in here, and also links to the kits and Whichcraft Do You Do's shop. So go and check it out. Take care of yourselves, be good, and I will see you again soon. Bye.